we ended up living in some basements and people's living rooms. We were crashing all over the place. We were basically homeless, I guess now you would just say that we were homeless. And I started to go into first grade. I went to 4 different first grades, and coming in that section of Massachusetts where there's money, people are pretty well off, and we were a poor hippie family, not popular. not a popular addition to the neighborhood, let me say. And so me just plopping into the schools and trying to figure out the structure of each one, and how each place teaches differently, or they do mathematics differently or anything like that. So I was always playing catch up, and it was just frustrating. But I remember also the grandmother. So there was Mimi, and then there was Grandma. And Grandma was on the real Irish side, and Grandpa was black Irish, big man, almost 300-pound ex-Marine. He ended up being a prisoner of war in Korea, and he was a sergeant, master, general, or whatever, Marine Corps, but he put on that Marine hat when he was real loaded, and you didn't go out in the basement when you heard the Marine Corps. And the last name was Fitzgerald, so there was all this JFK, and he was convinced that we were related to the Kennedys. But the alcohol flowed at that place. There was more alcohol in that house. I remember going with my grandmother to the liquor store, and there would just be, she'd have the dolly, and she'd come out with a dolly worth of booze. And so the parties were there. My aunt and uncles were about the same age as me, so we were just, nobody was watching us, and we just did whatever we pleased. And so that was a good reprieve, because there was people that I could hang out with all day, because my mother just started taking off and just leaving us with the grandparents most of the time. Plus, she didn't want to be around the old man anyway, because he was coming at me just, any moment or whatever. It would just happen all of a sudden, and it was those underwater backhands that would just take me down. So I remember second grade started, and we ended up in a town called Hull, which was there's a little peninsula off of Massachusetts. My elementary school was on an island for itself, and so I'm going to go into that story next about living in Hull, and an amusement park called Paragon Park that had the oldest wooden roller coaster, and Nantastic Beach. And that was a real highlight of my childhood, I felt, of really defining the amount of freedom that was necessary for me to be me at that time.